I'm Tom, and Dillian Whyte has pulled out of the Ipswich card. What's the Ipswich Portman Road, Portman Stadium? He's pulled out of that card. It was a long time coming. I mean, you've been checking the opponent to be announced from I checked Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It was a long time coming. He needed to pull out or announce something quick. You don't really announce your opponent days before the fight. It's just not really that heard of. Obviously, look at the Joseph Parker versus Bacoli, fight that happened there. They announced it a few days before the fight, and look how the fight went, right? So he put out the fight. Brilliant. I'm happy about that. Let's talk about what it means for him and actually what it means for the card as well. Firstly, though, quickly going to mention the background. Obviously, look, new studio, new sort of background going on. What do you think? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think the lighting's poor? I'm not sold on the lighting. I quite like everything else. That will chop and change with something else throughout sort of filming. But my big not agreeing thing is the lighting. I'm not sold on the way I look. Does that make sense? That's what I'm going to say. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments. Anyway, back to this. He pulled out of the card. I think it's quite good. I think actually that gives opportunity for something better to happen. We didn't know who he was fighting. And we've been told, though, that he's going to be fighting in August. Frank Warren said that there's something's been planned in August, so he pulled out. Obviously, that's what you do, right? If you've got the option of fight someone on 6 days' notice or pull out, go again in August in a big fight, obviously you're going to go for the big fight. It's what I think we've seen with Daniel Dubois, right? Daniel Dubois, I think, pulled out of the Parker fight because he was told you got the Usyk fight if you want it. And he thought, fucking all right then. But rather than do what, Dillian Whyte's done and admit it, he's done this. And given that they're both Frank Warren fighters, hey, I'm putting 2 and 2 together. Maybe I'm coming out of 5, 6, 7, but I think I'm coming out of 4. Anyway, right off the bat, this fight, not going to be Anthony Joshua. It just isn't going to be Anthony Joshua. Get that out of the way right now. I've seen a few people saying maybe he's fighting AJ. I don't mind the AJ fight. I think the fight's dead and buried, right? They fought the first time in 2016. That's nearly a decade ago. They're both older. Look, say what you want about AJ. Say what about AJ. He wipes the floor with Dillian Whyte. Wow, it's not even close. I mean, he did. That's no. You don't. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. And I had tickets to the second fight. I don't want to see that. And for this card, I don't really think it makes too much difference anyway. Look, they've sold like 20,000 tickets. It's probably going to be a sellout, right? I think it's going to be a good fight regardless. And it was a weird dynamic seeing Dillian Whyte fighting the undercard to Fabio Wardley. It's kind of like his protege type of thing. I'm not sure how I felt about that. Like it was, I don't really give a fuck, right? But it's just an interesting one. So I don't really think it damages the card too much. And of course, if Dillian Whyte, you're going to put out, you're going to do it, and you're going to go for that one. Like I say, it will not be AJ. Even if they wanted it to be AJ, not in August. AJ even told he's had surgery, injuries, or this, even though we're saying spar Bacoli, like whatever. We're not going to see him fight for a while because he's injured. We're talking October, November, December time. Like it's not going to be. It's probably going to be the winner of or loser. Well, probably the winner of Dubois. Probably going to be Dubois, in my opinion, not Fury. But it's not going to be Dillian Whyte. That's what I can guarantee. It will not be Dillian Whyte. So who should Dillian Whyte be fighting, right? Who should he fight in August? Right off the bat, my first thoughts, Chisora. That fight's there to be made. That fight makes so much sense. Whyte, Chisora, I mean, look, those guys are pals, but they will just go to war. Both of them will absolutely go to war. We'll give you some money, pal. Some big money, stadium fight. Chisora's last fight. Should be Whyte's last fight. Sail off into the sunset with your riches. Just have a fight. Yeah. That right off the bat, yeah. I thought that's a really good fight. And I like it for both men. That's 50-50. At this point in their careers, Chisora versus Whyte 3, that's 50-50. I don't want to hear anything. Like, what else? Who are you favouring? Maybe, I mean, off Whyte's performances, you probably favour Chisora in his 50th fight, O2 Arena. You probably favour Chisora in that. But then you look more into it, if it's not going to be Chisora, it's been set up for it well, should be a good fight. Really, they should both retire afterwards. But if it's not going to be Chisora, which is the fight I wanted to see, I will watch Chisora versus Whyte. at the O2, stick a good undercard on it. I'm going to be there. Do you know what I mean? But if it's not going to be there, Dillian Whyte, Lawrence Okolie. I think that makes a lot of sense. Dillian Whyte versus Lawrence Okolie. Because Okolie's new at heavyweight. There is animosity there. There's 100% some animosity between Dillian Whyte and Lawrence Okolie. And they sell a lot of tickets. It's a test for Okolie. Okolie's big. You know, Okolie's huge. I didn't really like him at cruiserweight. I thought it was quite boring to watch, but at heavyweight he's been better. This is clearly his natural weight. He's huge. And look, Whyte's saying he wants a title fight. You beat Okolie. Doesn't put you in the mix, but it shows you mean business. And I think Whyte's one of those fighters, right, where I think Dillian Whyte needs to be up for it. Dillian Whyte can't just fight anybody. He has to be up for the fight. He needs to want to fight. If he can do that, you see a good fight. And Lawrence Okolie will bring that out of him. So perhaps Lawrence Okolie, Chisora goes and fights Parker. They both set out into the sunset. That would be the two I'm thinking. It's not AJ. You know, who else can you really get? Okolie or Chisora. That's all I'm thinking. Let me know your thoughts on it all in the comments down below. Who do you think it will be? What do you think of the setup? What do I need to change? That will chop and change. The lighting. Give me your feedback, people. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff works, people. Peace.